Hello and welcome to Fingerprinting Gurus. My name is Tommy Watkins. I'm your instructor. Before we get started today, I would like for everyone to go ahead and hit like and subscribe here at the bottom of the screen so I can continue to bring you good, positive content that will not only impact your mobile fingerprinting business, but your ink fingerprint card business. Today's topic is steps for fingerprinting. And it is known that the recommended height is 39 inches, which converts to 3 feet 3 inches tall. That's for card or live scan. This will allow the forearm of an average adult being fingerprinted to be parallel to the floor, at which position it is best to roll and record fingerprints. If the fingerprint device is not at the height, care must be taken, or the fingerprint tends to rise off the device. If this happens, the technician will fail to capture the lower portions of the first joint, and necessary ridge details will be missing. Number one, fingerprints or fingers to be printed must be clean and dry. Wiping the individual fingers with alcohol swabs and then drying them should prevent perspiration from being a problem. If the individual occupation has caused a wear down or the rough surfaces on the fingers, use lotion to soften the fingers. Be sure to wipe the lotion off before printing. Number two, the individual being fingerprinted should be asked to stand in front of, and at the forearm length from the fingerprinting device. The individual should stand to the right and rear of the person taking the fingerprints. Number three, it is encouraged that the individual being fingerprinted to relax. Ask them to look at some distant object to distract them from what you're doing. Reason being is if they're looking at what you're doing, there's a possibility that they will assist you through that process and possibly smear those prints. And it's always a good thing to always have the person being fingerprinted uh, to focus in on some inanimate object that's on the wall, so they're not focusing on what you're doing, therefore messing up the prints. Number four, grasp the individual's right hand at the base of the thumb with the right hand. Cup your hand over the individual's fingers, tucking under those fingers, not being printed. Guides the finger being printed with your left hand. So number five, if you're using the ink and paper method, roll the fingers on the ink plate or porcelain pad so that the entire fingerprinting pattern area is evenly covered with ink. The ink should cover from one edge of the nail to the other, and from the creases of the first joint to the tip of the fingers. Using the right amount of ink is vitally important. Too little ink and the impression will be too light, and too much ink and the fine details will run together. This here is pretty much the bulb of your finger. This is where you want to have that ink basic covering from the tip here to that first line. That's pretty much what the first joint. That's where you want to roll the ink from nail bed to nail bed to ensure that it's properly coated before applying that client's or fingerprinted applicant's fingers to the fingerprint card. Number six, in taking the rolled impressions, the side of the bulb of the fingers is placed upon the paper fingerprint card of the fingerprinting device, and the fingers is rolled to the other side until it faces the opposite direction. Care should be exercised so that the bulb of each finger is rolled evenly from the tip to below the first joint. Generally, the weight of the finger is all the pressure needed to clearly record fingerprints. Number 7. In order to take advantage of the natural movement of the forearm, the hands should be rotated for more difficult positions to the easiest position. This requires that the thumb be rolled towards and the fingers away from the center of the individual's body. The process relieves strain and leaves the individual relaxed when rolling, so that they may be lifted easily without danger or slipping, which smudges and blurs the fingerprints. Number 8. Roll each finger from nail to nail. In the appropriate spaces, taken care is lifted each finger up and away after rolling to avoid smudging. Number 9. If you're using the ink and paper method and a roll impression is not acceptable, you may use an adhesive retab to cover the fingerprint in its space. No more than one retab per block is permitted for live scan or the paper copy. The image can be deleted and retaken. As far as the retab goes, that is just within the supply list, which I will do a live on somewhat later. The retabs, pretty much you can apply them to the actual fingerprint cards to cover up mistakes previously made on the fingerprint cards due to a smudge, fingerprint slippage, or anything that's dealing with a mistake. You can stick that particular sticker onto the card, and it will cover up the old mistake, and you can apply a new print on there so that that it can pass the fingerprint inspection. But for us using the retabs, you want to use caution when doing so. If you got to use more than 2 retabs on a given fingerprint card, just go ahead and redo the whole process, because what you don't want to happen is the card possibly being rejected. If you got to use more than 2 retabs on a given card, just do the card over. Don't assume that it's going to pass inspection. Just do what's right so you don't have to come back later and perform that service again. Number 10. Plain impressions are printed last. At the bottom of the card, the technician simultaneously presses the individual forearm on the right hand, keeping the fingers together on the surface of the fingerprint card or the fingerprint device at a 45-degree angle. In order to capture all fingers in the allotted space, repeat the process for the left hand. Print both thumbs simultaneously in the plain impression thumb blocks. This will ensure that they are in the proper space. So when you utilize that space at the bottom of the fingerprint card, when they ask you to do the impression of the 4 fingers, right and left, you want to ensure that these fingers are pointed in when you do so, and then you will dip them in the ink, and you will give them a gentle massage, and then you will press it down. Have the client to relax, and you will press it down into the ink, and you would still do a gentle massage method about 3 to 5 seconds, and then you will let up, and you should have a really good impression. Um, you do want to make sure that the client is not moving, and you do want to make sure it's done. Those prints are done at a 45-degree angle to capture, which is known here as the pinky finger, because this right here, this pinky finger is definitely a troublesome digit to the finger process when it comes to fingerprinting. I have the most problems with that pinky, so don't take it for granted when you out there rolling that pinky. You want to make sure you include it down into that block so you can get the best impression. Remember, 45-degree angle, you won't go wrong. Don't do the up and down method. It will you probably won't be successful for your printing, and it's likely that a rejection will occur. Please also note that never place a fingerprint impression on the back of the fingerprint card. No fingerprint impressions on the back of the card. Everything is on the front. If you don't do anything else, please remember that process. Also, for number 11, if using the ink and paper method, complete the information at the top of the fingerprint card. And of course, if you're using live scan, complete the required information. But my course right now is completely geared towards ink fingerprinting card and not live scan at this time. We may talk more in detail in the near future regarding live scan, but right now we're sticking with ink fingerprinting. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for this week for steps for fingerprinting. If you like this content, please like and subscribe here at the bottom of this channel. And if you have any questions, please feel free to place them there in the comments box, and I'll be happy to assist you and to answer your inquiries. I am Tommy Watkins, your instructor. We'll see you next week here on Fingerprinting Gurus with more positive content that will assist you with your mobile fingerprinting business and ink card business. Thank you.